right? And technically, this always happens when they've been in a territory. For example, they've been in the West and they've seen that their services or their products are not really needed in the West. It is needed in the North. So they are going to have to need an agency network in the North to help push that. Now, this is an option. This is an option because they can as well go ahead and establish their branches in those areas, right? So it's an option. I'll explain that later. So the next point is access to uncharted territories leading to expansion. So just like I said, remember the initial reason of establishing agency network to reach out to other parts of the world in quotes and um, the need for your products or services in those places, thereby leading to expansion. We talked about ABC. So imagine these two companies have found a way to exchange in quotes, delivering value in their different territories. This technically means ABC beverages is now present in both the north and the west. The west used to be uncharted territories for them, but because of XYZ soft drinks that are already established there and their integration with them, they found like a niche for them there and they are established there and they have expanded from the north to the west. Same thing for XYZ soft drinks. They are established in the north. So it leads to access to uncharted territories and expansion. Next point is leveraging on them. Excuse me. Leveraging on existing structure. So I remember what we talked about reaching your intended target audience. So is an option. Agency networking is an option for people to go and reach out to their target audience. Now, all these that we are talking about is technically about financial inclusion. So let me give an example. Imagine, like we have said now, the North has high number of financially excluded, but the company that is about to reach them, that is trying to reach out to these financially excluded people, are not in the North; they are in the West. Using agency banking, this can facilitate financial inclusion if they integrate with those agency networks or an established agency network right there in the North, where they can reach out to their target audience. And because it's the north that they've not been to before, that's uncharted territory, and they have expanded to the north. Now, leveraging an existing structure means because these agency networks are already established in these territories, in these areas, e.g., in the north or in the west, as the case may be, they already have a structure, they already have a working process for them. For a new um, organization or new service that wants to be introduced in a new place, it's going to be cumbersome. Let me use the word. Or it's going to be cost very costly for them to establish themselves again, all over again in a new territory. Companies do that. Like I said, like that's why I said agency network is an option. A lot of companies actually go ahead to do that and build from scratch in these new areas. But using agency network, you already have an existing structure to push out these services or these products. So it reduces it leverages on already existing structure to help push out your products and services, and within a short time your product or service is out there because of the existing structure. Now, bringing it home to financial inclusion, because there's already an existing agency network in these uncharted territories, the knowledge that they are trying to pass across, the financial inclusion knowledge, the financial literacy, the services they are trying to put across to these communities is spread faster than when you are starting from scratch. That's why it's better, always better to leverage on an existing structure. It reduces cost. This is actually obvious. If you are starting from scratch, it means you have to start employing a lot of people. You have to start training them, reaching out to, like it's it's not cost effective. Let's put it that way. But leveraging on an existing structure means all you have to do is have enough funding for mobilizing the existing agents in this network, and you're good to go, right? it helps increase returns as an organization because it reduces cost. It's actually dependent because it reduces cost. It helps you increase return. Also, because you have reached uncharted territory, you have opened a new market, you've seen a new niche. It adds to your already expected returns. Then it helps you achieve set goals. So, for example, I'll give for example, there are like I said, there are organizations that are already set up to help facilitate um, financial inclusion. Now, because they are set up in some areas already, let's say they are set up in the east or in the south, to achieve their goals within a short time, which is, let's say, one of their goals is financially including another 20% of the population of Nigeria. Starting from scratch for every new territory you go to is going to take more time than leveraging on existing agency networks in those places. That is why agency network is actually very important. You mustn't always go and do it yourself when you can leverage on the already existing structure of agency networks in these areas. So there are several other advantages to this agency network, as the case may be. So you can as well just go and check them out in case if you're interested. So just to bring us back to where we came from, we are talking about building blocks of financial inclusion. And we have been talking about agency network, which is one of the major building blocks of financial inclusion, right? And it's so important in Nigeria because of the northern region, which has more numbers of financial included, but don't really have access. All the financially the financial inclusion organizations don't really have access to the north. So that's why agency networks are very important in this case. Now, because of the importance of agency network, there was an organization that was established in about 2018 or thereabout, which is the SANEF. And SANEF stands for Shared Agent Network Expansion Facilities. And it's a project powered by Central Bank of Nigeria, Nigeria Interbank Settlement Systems, deposit money banks, licensed mobile money operators, and shared agents all together. So they came together to join hands to create a project like an organization called SANEF. Now it involves the establishment of about 500,000 strong agent network over the next few years. And it also places higher target priorities on the geopolitical zones in northern Nigeria, where financial exclusion is predominant. So, like we said before, the importance of agency network or agent network cannot be overrated or underrated. It can't be overemphasized, it can't be underemphasized. It is too obvious because it is obvious that number one, the number of financially excluded are more in the north. Also, unfortunate that the highest number of illiterates are in the north, meaning someone needs to go and come down to their level and explain things in layman terms to them. As a financial institution, e.g., a bank or MFB, it is difficult, or it's possible, but it's going to be cumbersome. It's going to be difficult to go and establish a branch in all these northern areas and start teaching these people that you need to open a bank account. This is what you get from a bank account, blah blah blah. It's a difficult endeavor. That said, the CBN and some other organizations, including shared agents, came together to form a committee and organization called SANEF. And this SANEF is basically to facilitate agency network, especially in the northern area of Nigeria. Right now, SANEF has a lot of bank partners. My bank, I mean by commercial banks, MFBs, and as the case may be, and financial institutions technically. So as you can see here, central banks, CIBN, NIBSS, and other commercial banks are already partners in this endeavor to help agency banking, agency networking, as the case may be. So that tells you the serious importance of agency network and how it has actually helped in financial inclusion. So all these banks and other partners see the need for this agency network. Right. Um, So we also talked about shared agents that came together to form to partner with SANEF, right? So they are a collection of all these shared agents. These are already existing agency networks around the country, and these are just a few of their partners. You can see Paga, you can see Pampe, Quicktella, Lapo, and the list goes on. So they are not restricted to this, although they are going, as an agency network. For you to become a super agent of SANEF, you are going to have you are going to need a license, right? And that license comes from you establishing yourself in the needed areas around the country where financial inclusion is needed, right? Hope everyone is hearing me. Hope everyone is following me. Can I go on?
Yes, kindly go on.
Yes, kindly go on. Yes, kindly.
All right, thank you. All right, let's go on, please. Now, we have talked about the importance of agency network, which is one of the major drivers of financial inclusion, especially in the north. But there's another very, very major driver of financial inclusion, which is technology. Now, you can agree with me that even though the physical methodology of going into the rural areas, going to the grassroots to meet with these financially excluded people and explain to them the need for all this and all that, technology cannot be evaded. Even if the utilization of technology is a bit reduced because you are going in quotes manual, you are going physical to them. Aside from that, even in the physical exercise they are doing, there's supposed to be some technological need around there. Aside from the northern parts, even other parts of the world as well, other parts of Nigeria, even the learned, some of them don't really have adequate knowledge of the need for financial services or financial inclusion. They don't have complete understanding of the opportunities in financial literacy. So technology is a major driver in helping to push financial inclusion all around. Now, technology has a huge, inevitable role to play in the facilitation of financial inclusion as per the online aspect. Not just the online aspect, like I said, but majorly in the online aspect. So we are talking about both offline and online. We can agree that going physically to these rural areas is more like an offline part of it. But what about the online part of it? The online part of financial inclusion. Remember, we said that yes, the huge number of people don't really have access to smartphones, or they are financially excluded. They don't know much about that. But also, a good number have access to these phones. They have access to internet. They have access, but they don't really fully understand. They don't really know what they have access to as financial literates. That's where the technology comes in. Now, it is safe to say that the success of financial inclusion affiliated organizations, the financial sector in general, and pretty much the entire economy has been based on leveraging technology. We can go as far as saying that without technology, we wouldn't have come so far so quickly. Now, I'm talking based on already developed countries, or not just not Nigeria. Nigeria, we still have a long way to go, but we are getting there. I mean, in Nigeria, you can see potential. You can see people know the need for technology now. They know the need for financial inclusion. That's why organizations are being set up. And those organizations are being set up and they are leveraging on technology. Basically, technology cannot be um, evaded in financial inclusion facilitation. Now, through the basis of IT, organizations have been able to come up with enterprise solutions, policies, methodologies, etc., to efficiently manage their internal processes. These include both mobile and web applications. So let's even talk about some of all these shared agents and all. Even regardless of the fact that they go physical or they are physical, they go physically into these areas to um, carry out their processes, carry out their inclusion and all that. At some point in time, they will need to engage an IT solution. A solution can as well be a mobile app, can as well be even USSD is also technology. Even putting down records, even if they write it down in a paper, at some point they're supposed to document everything online, push out the record, push out their reports online. Even if they are not doing it now, it helps. It facilitates all these processes. That's why technology is very important. Technology has also brought forth remedies to age-long challenges and hindrances of financial inclusion. A very good example of these kind of challenges that have been solved with technology is uh, uh, social lender, but I'll go back. I'll go into that later. So, how are we solving all this? What's our part in Beacom ICT solution? What are we doing in financial inclusion, financial literacy, and technology awareness in a whole? Right. So, having established that IT is one of the major drivers of financial literacy and inclusion, especially in Nigeria, Beacom ICT solutions, being an IT organization, has taken some steps towards financial inclusion and facilitation. Not only financial inclusion, but also pointing out the different and many opportunities that we can leverage on using IT. Can everyone hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
All right, thank you. Just give me a moment. Right, so what have we done in Bincom? What are we doing in Bincom? What do we intend to do? What's Bincom? Uh, some of our related products that help with number one, financial inclusion, number two, technological awareness and technological facilitation. They include the following. So let's talk about one of the things that we can do, or we intend to do with Bincom with technology, is an alternative to formal credit scoring. So remember, we are talking about building blocks to facilitating or helping out with financial inclusion in Nigeria and in the world. So one of the things that can happen, or one of the things that we have done in Bincom, is an alternative to formal credit scoring. You know that it's already established that a significant number of adults in Nigeria, in the north, and as the case may be, don't really have access to financial services. Not just aside from the fact that they are illiterate, they don't have a digital footprint. They don't have financial footprints online or even offline to be able to get a credit score or to be formally accredited to have access to all these services. That's one of the major issues, and that's why opening a bank account itself is important as well, right? So one of the steps that Bincom has done is, because it's difficult for these people to have a um, access to formal credit because of credit scoring, because obviously they don't have access to um, smart devices, or they don't really see the need for everything. If Bincom was able to provide this solution called social lender, and what the social lender do, it uses its own proprietary algorithm to perform a social audit that uses not only the user's online presence but also their offline activities to provide an alternative scoring system called social reputation score. That score now makes that user eligible, or gives that user, supposed to give user access to all these formal credits that they were being hindered from because they didn't have a credit score. Now, as opposed to the whole issue of going to an agent's network, going to tell them open a bank account, make transactions, put money inside, receive money so that you can start getting your credit score up. Social lender, sorry, Bincom now said, okay, social lender, come up, create an alternative for credit scoring, so that even if they don't really have that time, or they don't have that um they don't have that opportunity to go into they don't have that opportunity to go into financial world, let's provide an alternative for them, which is social reputation score. That way they can now have access to all these financial credits, financial services, available, and not just financial services, services that have been hindered from because they didn't have a credit score online. That's one of the solutions called social lender uh, by Bincom. Another way we can do this is equipping individuals with technological skills, which is a tool for infinite problem solving. We all know that technology, there's nothing impossible with technology. The solutions that are abound with technology are we are still yet to discover all of them, right? So the only way, one way we can help with financial inclusion is equipping individuals with the tool, the weapon to facilitate financial inclusion, to help destroy financial exclusion, which is technology. Now, using technology, several solutions can spring up. For example, the social media that we just talked about now is a technological um, endeavor, the technological solution to help with solving financial exclusion. Now, we are now saying here in Bincom, instead of just bringing and giving out solutions, how about we equip people to come up with solutions using technology by teaching them technology? And that's where Bincom Dev Center comes in. So Bincom Dev Center is the training and development arm of Bincom ICT Solutions. And the vision is to produce about 1,000 high quality tech professionals every year. Now, there are several services offered under Bincom Dev Center, which are Bincom Academy, Tech Apprenticeship, Tech Internship, Bincom ICT Career Talks, and the likes. So all these services provided by Bincom Dev Center help equip, especially young minds, people just coming into the labor market, people just fresh out of school, fresh graduates, even people confused on what path to take. So they are brought in and they are trained and they go through a process and they are equipped with technological skills. Now, having those skills, they can come up. It gives them the empowerment, it gives them the leverage, the opportunity to come up with better solutions, probably even better than the already existing ones, to help solve financial exclusion, to help facilitate financial literacy, all using technology. So that's basically this one of the other steps Income is taking to help with financial inclusion. All right. Now, Bincom also does other services, and I'll see if we can go through each of them one after the other. So, software solution development and maintenance. So, like we said, for example, the social network that was built is more like a solution to help tackle financial institution. Other solutions can come in to help solve financial institution. Now, um, organizations that need technological solutions to help tackle all these financial inclusion hindrances can also come and leverage on technology using our service, which is software development. Basically, we develop software, we develop both mobile and web applications that can help facilitate or help solve any challenge. Basically, now I'm saying any challenge because technology is like it's so versatile that you can use it to solve practically any problem you need. If financial inclusion is a problem, best believe, best be rest assured that there is a solution for it in technology. There is a solution for it. So what do we do? We offer development of solutions, software solutions, web, mobile, enterprise, as the case may be. That's one of the services we do. IT advisory, consultancy. So we've already established IT is very important. So if a company is trying to set up their software, their IT department or whatnot, to say, okay, since we are going into the rural area, doesn't mean that we will not have IT integrated, but they don't know how to go about it. They don't know where to start. That's where our consultancy services come in. So if a company is trying to begin or start their process in the north, for example, they can as well just come and say, okay, we have opened a branch. How do we now integrate IT? How do we use IT to help facilitate this our financial inclusion that we want to do now? You don't know where to start. You don't know if you need 1 million laptops or you need just two. You don't know if you need a solution to help run your processes or not. You don't know if your agents the agents that you even want to use, if they should be having an app or they can just use USSD to do it. It depends. You wouldn't know that because you are not an IT guru. But we are saying we can advise you on the best way to do this because we have been in the field for a while. Now, another service we offer is outsourcing skills. So skill outsourcing, outsource IT basically. So apart from the fact that we can advise you on how best to go about your IT, we can also provide skills to help effect those ideas, those plans that we have. So we outsource basically for software development, for infrastructure, for basically IT needs. We have skills available that we can outsource to organizations and even individuals that need these skills effected as soon as possible. So apart from the fact that we advise, we also have the mobility for this purpose. And we have business process management. Remember, I said that there are two options: either a company can leverage on an existing agency network in those areas, or they can go and start from scratch there. It's going to be more difficult, but you can start from scratch. So we are saying if you want to leverage on an existing agency network, you can also come to meet us and say, how can these people now affect the plans that we have? That's for the outsourced IT and the IT advisory. Now, business process management means there are processes that need to be affected. An example of a process is you have gone to put in your financial inclusion, financial literacy activity. You have done your financial literacy activity. How do you key it into the system? How do you report? How do you track? It's all a process. It's a business process. How do you your step by step processes? How are they monitored? How are they managed? We have solutions that can help with managing that as much as possible. And like you said, enterprise tech solutions, customized solutions to just help financial inclusion as much as possible, financial literacy. It all depends on the need, on how and the methodology you intend to use to effect this. So basically, these are the major ways Bincom has been over years and even eventually intend to help with financial inclusion in Nigeria, not just Nigeria, in the world in a whole, using leveraging technology, using the best use of technology. Because I've already established that technology is important, right? And so basically, we're just talking about income. So we are fast growing organizations. Uh, we have been we have been in the game for a while, for 14 years now, and basically we are the solution provider, IT solution providers, outsource IT, outsourcing skills, IT advisory, as the case may be. So you can always reach out to us. To know more about Bincom, you can go to Bincom, www.bincom.net, so you can call us. So basically, we talked about these. These are just the different ways Bincom has been going about helping out with financial inclusion. So we have established at the beginning of this lecture the importance of financial inclusion, or rather, the issue that we are facing right now in Nigeria, which is financial inclusion is difficult to effect because of the high number of illiterates and financially excluded in the north. So we are saying leveraging technology, Bincom has been able to do one or two things to help from the way how we can help using technology to solve this. An example is social lender. An example is income dev center. We also have provided several solutions for companies uh, around the around different sectors like the educational sector, just to help with formal education, as the case may be. So I've already pushed out a few apps to help education, to help teaching, basically. So if one of the issues that the northern region is facing is illiteracy, we are saying we are also using technology. We found a way to provide solution, which is a mobile app or a mobile or a web app to help facilitate teaching in all these places. By the time they are these illiterates are being schooled formally, they are having more, they are getting more exposed to the uh, opportunities out there for financial inclusion and financial literacy, and as the case may be. All right, to that we have come to the end of my slide. So I just hope I was able to pass across some information and let us know the importance of the issue we are facing and the different ways, the two major ways that social financial inclusion can be helped, can be facilitated using agency network and using technology. So just so you know that there are other ways you can go, and there are other organizations that are set up to help with this. FINA is set up to help with the statistics to help for this. We talked about SANEF that helps with agency networks, then the shared networks themselves, then there are policies as well that help facilitate financial inclusion all around government policies. Basically, we are just doing our part at Beacom ICT to see how we can help out. Uh, and to that, I've come to the end of my slide, and I want to say thank you very much, everyone. So, are there any questions?
Thank you, Mika. Are there any questions from the audience? If you can't think of your questions now, you can post them in the chat and we'll address them after second session is over. But now we'll be moving on to the next session, which is going to be a presentation by Ndiaga Obo, the Chief Operating Officer of Social Lender. Mr. Mili, you may have the floor, sir. Mr. Muli.
Hi. Good afternoon. Let me just share my slide. Emeka, thank you. Wonderful presentation. You went in deep on some parts, so I'm glad you presented before me. Right, makes my job easier. So everybody knows what financial inclusion is. I don't have to define that.
Can still go through, can still breeze through. Some people
Everybody
might
knows.
have.
No. You have done well. I don't want to. So I'm trying to share my slide. But if there's any question, this is a good time to ask. I know that opportunity was given before so that uh, everybody is carried along. Right. How many seconds do I have for this presentation?
You have 2 days. Take all the
You
time.
actually
I
have
have
20
how many?
minutes.
I
You
have
have
20,
20 minutes.
20 minutes left.
Yes.
All right. Okay. Hold on, guys. Just a second. Okay, people. I don't know why my slide is not uploading. Let me send it to Ezekiah to upload. Ezekiah,
Hello, sir.
can I send you my slide to upload? I'm trying to upload it here.
Huh?
I don't know.
My
I'm
system
sending
is
you my
down right
slide
now.
for you to just share it. The system is down. All right. So let me see what I can do differently. Uh, Let me see what I can do differently. Apologies, people. I will get this soon. Can anybody see my screen?
Not yet, sir.
You can't see my screen yet.
So I think you set your video to low bandwidth mode.
You can't see my screen at all.
I can't see that. You can't see it at all.
Okay. It's high now. I've never done this. Never touched that. It says hi. Sorry. Can you see it now?
Sorry, please, everyone can see the screen, please, in between. Because
Is that one?
some people can't.
I didn't get that. What I would do?
I still can't see your screen. I can't see your screen on my end, yes, sir.
Okay, no problem. Emeka, please help me and share this presentation. I sent it to you already.
Via mail.
Via WhatsApp.
Oops. I use my system to share. Let me convert it. Hold on.
Apologies, guys. A little bit of glitch here. I'm trying to get this shared. I'm literally sharing from my point, but unfortunately, you guys are not seeing my screen. Can everybody see my screen now? Just let me know when you can see my screen.
I can't see your screen on my end.
Still
So we
can see
can't
the
see your
screen. Okay. I've shared with Emeka. Hope he can project from his end. So
All right, give me a few minutes. I'm going to project it.
stop. So I will just talk through the slide while Emeka is setting up, right? Um, Good afternoon, everyone. Can anyone hear me?
I can hear you. Good
Yes, sir, we
afternoon.
can hear you.
All right, good afternoon. My name is Moody. I work with Social Lender as the lead operations officer, right? And we're glad that you guys could find time out of your busy schedule to join us. This is Digital Financial Service Masterclass brought to you by Social Lender. We do this every quarter. We try to bring topical issues, products, conversations that can help spur your business to greater possibilities. What we are talking about this quarter or this month is building blocks for financial inclusion at scale. If you listen to the news closely in the last couple of years, CBN has been directly involved or campaigning or leading the campaign for financial inclusion. And simply, after all the grammar, what they are trying to say is that everybody in Nigeria should be able to, exercise or enjoy, easy financial service or have access to financial service, as the case may be. Emeka gave a definition from Wikipedia on which talked about availability and equality, that we are all equal, we should all have access to financial inclusion. But I like the CBN definition, which I will define now. I'll just quote CBN. CBN says financial inclusion is a state where financial services are delivered by a range of providers, mostly the private sector, to reach everyone who could use them. Specifically, it means a financial system that serves as many people as possible in a country, right? So when we talk about finance, we're talking about bank. So look at the banking system, the banking services, right? Everybody being able to enjoy banking solution. So whether I'm in Okitipupa or I'm in JC or I'm far in Damaturi, I should be able to open a bank account, which is the foundation. I should be able to do BVN enrollment. I should be able to send money to my children across the city, right? I should be able to receive money, from anybody, right? I should be able to get insurance. I should be able to get affordable credit, where the likes of social lender comes in. I should be able to get financial advice, you know, when we talk about investment and the like, so that is financial inclusion. Being able to offer financial solution or financial services to a wide range of people or to to a demography, that before now are not enjoying those facilities. So financial inclusion came by, if you travel from the cities you are in and you go any city you're in Nigeria, if you travel 2 hours from any city, you will find scarce resources in terms of financial service provider, right? The banks diminish in numbers. The access to financial touch point, which is bank, ATM machines, begins to reduce as you leave major cities. Which tells you that there are people in the inner cities who are financially on the bank or who are financially unserved at all. So they are not even banked, you know, at all. So those are some of the challenges that we experience as a nation and as a people, and we're trying to solve them. As CBN has said, the private sectors will typically lead in this campaign, right? Hello, Emeka, are you still trying to put me up?
Can you see my screen?
We can't see your screen yet, Emeka.
Okay. So Emeka, so just do the same thing you did before you were
That's
presenting
what
your
I'm
own.
doing. I'm doing exactly the same thing. Although this, wait, I'm seeing my screen here. Just hold on, let
I, I,
me see
said-
if I can.
I saw my screen too. So
All right, let me stop sharing and try and share again. How about now?
I still can't see your screen.
Okay, this is an issue.
But I have to rejoin the room then. I think you should work after that.
So I should leave and rejoin. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, maybe
Yes,
Moody, you try leaving too. Let me try and leave.
Okay. Is anybody seeing my screen now?
Yes, we can see your screen. I can see your screen now.
All right. So every other person can confirm that they can see my screen. We need a confirmation from somebody else.
I can see your screen.
All right. Thank you very much. Sorry for that glitch. Right. So I'll go straight into it. Time is not my friend at the moment. So I started by explaining the concept and the need for financial inclusion. Resources are scarce, so financial service provider are not able to be in every location that they should be in. So private players are coming in to drive financial inclusion by taking their services, financial institution banks, services to rural area and rural settlement. And CBN defined financial inclusion as a state where financial service are delivered by a range of providers, mostly the private sector, to reach everybody or everyone who could use these financial services, who has need of these financial services. Specifically, it means a financial system that serves as many people as possible in a country. So when you are thinking of financial inclusion, we're thinking of services that include savings, for example, payment and remittances. We're looking at affordable credit. We're looking at insurance. Financial advisory will also give birth to investment, financial investment, and of course, it all starts with a bank account. Opening a bank account, it means you are financially engaged. It doesn't mean you are included yet. So you can have a bank account and be underserved. You know what Wikipedia defined financial inclusion as is very interesting. They talked about it's been available and it's equally accessible by everyone. So if there's a service in a platform that is exclusive to 1% or 2%, it means the others 93% or 98% people are excluded. Do you understand? So it must be equal and it must be available to all. So when we talk about financial inclusion, we don't talk about it in isolation. It's not just a concept of let's we can approach it as let's just give people um, a bank account. We have to think about financial inclusion from the point of what do people need, right? What is the basic need of a man? If a man just needs bole and you are telling him to come and open a current account, you have you've lost him, even though he needs a bank account. Do you understand what I'm saying? So what do people need? We are building a solution. Let's not forget our title, right? We are building blocks. What? Building block for financial inclusion at scale, right? So let's not lose sight of that definition. So what do people need? What they need will tell what kind of financial service you offer them, which they will accept and which will bring them into the financial inclusion space. Once they get to the financial inclusion space, they can grow from opening a bank account to saving, actually, to investment, to mortgage, and they can go all the yards. But initially, where do we start from? We start from the basic need of man, according to Maslow laws of needs. Everybody wants self-actualization. What does financial inclusion tells me about myself? Does it make me cooler? Does it make me accessible? Does it make my business grow? Everybody think about esteem, confidence, achievement. Humans definitely think about belongings. If I have a bank account, what does that mean to me? What does that mean to the brand? What is the safety? I've been saving money since I was born inside the clay pot under my bed. You're telling me to come open this bank account with these white people or brown people that I don't know their surname or I don't know their lineage. What if they run away? Do you understand? So safety, these are the issues that people are struggling with. And psychological need, am I able to meet, other psychological need like my, water, shelter, food? How does it assist me to achieve? How does financial inclusion assist me to achieve all these other things? And of course, if you are in the generation X or Z, like they call it, Wi-Fi is a basic need. How does that affect? How does financial inclusion affect my accessing the internet, as the case may be? So when we think about financial inclusion, don't just think about a bank trying to open a bank account. That is step one. There are several steps to it, and people will relate to it based on their basic human need. So in building blocks for financial inclusion, Emeka, who is the first speaker, has dealt extensively with a lot of definition. So I had to even take out some of the slides so that we don't repeat the same things. Once you're thinking about what you need, so you need, first of all, you need a product. And we need to back that back a bit. You need a problem. I took that out because the problems are everywhere. So you need products that could solve problems, right? People don't know what they need, so you offer it to them and you solve their problem with it, right? I can leave my desk now, drive my car, go to a bank and pay money. But if I know that I can just open my phone and transfer that same money, and the time it will take for me, going to bank now becomes a problem that you have solved for me. So having financial inclusion products that speaks to the need of the people, and the need of people differ according to Maslow's hierarchy of needs. It differs because the need of the guys in the city might be Wi-Fi. The needs for the guys in the rural settlement might be water. Do you get? So you have to divide products from location to location that can address needs, and then you can bring that in rendering that service. People are coming into the financial space. One of the building blocks for financial inclusion, like Emeka extensively talked about, is agency network. Right? We cannot overemphasize that. You need to have a proper, well-structured agency network. What does it mean? A network of people that can communicate your service or that can communicate your product to the right market in the right language possible. Do you understand? I can give you the most conversion. So you have people, agents that you have trained thoroughly. For every agent, there must be an agent manager, right? Somebody managing the agent. So, and you have a business case that rewards the agent. So there's no agency network that can thrive without a proper business case. How are you going to pay the agent? How are you going to pay it? If not, your quest for financial inclusion would fail before you get to the market. If your agents are not properly trained, they are not. There's no business case that caters for them, then it's a problem. You know, agency banking or agent banking, like we call it, is one of the way we can drive financial inclusion. It's one of the blocks for driving financial inclusion. So we're talking about digital technology, online, using digital technology to drive transactions offline. Do you understand? So you have a solution like Social Lender is a digital platform. An agent goes to a location, right? Maybe Burutu, right? And communicates to community elders there and tell them I can open a bank account on the spot for you. People are used to traveling all the way, maybe to Warri, right, to sort of do banking. But using technology to open the bank account in their living room for them is you taking technology, online technology to serve people offline, and that in itself is one of the strongest or one of the building blocks of financial inclusion, right? Technology, it's a powerful tool. We have platforms that helps you aggregate products. So I'm doing lending. Emeka is doing enterprise sales. We have a technology platform that both of us can put our product and serve the audience. Instead of me going to the market to say, you X amount of naira, and Emeka is saying, can I give you Income Academy? We can come on the same platform and say, get X amount of naira to get Income Academy classes going on. Do you understand? So technology creates platform for aggregation, interoperability, and it gives you a wider range of services that you can pick from. So if you go to any bank platform right now, they have different products from current account to savings account to domiciliary account to investment portfolio, just different portfolio that technology has been able to help them aggregate and serve to you. So by just opening an app, you have access to FX, you have access to mortgage, you have access to bill payment, and those kind of products drive financial inclusion. It's important to note that when you're talking about financial inclusion, and you're not just talking about guys in the rural area, right? You're not just talking about guys in the rural area. There are people in the city who, for some reason or the other, are not included. They're not interacting with the formal financial service platform the way they should, right? There are still people in the city, especially factory workers, drivers, artisans, that are still dependent on cash-based transactions. So they pay them cash. You go to a shop and you buy something, you pay cash. The man goes to the market with that cash and buy his goods and come back and he sell to you and you pay cash. The circle just continues like that. That guy doesn't interact with the bank. He's in the city, he's doing big transaction, but his track is cash driven. So financial inclusion does not mean, it's just people in the rural area. There are people in the city that are financially excluded, right? There are also people in the city that cannot connect, especially Generation Z, the Netflix generation, TikTok generation people. They cannot connect with going to a bank, queuing up, and doing transactions. It doesn't speak to them, right? Those people, banks are not creating, or platforms like social lenders, mortgage banks and investment platform are not creating an opportunity where we can financially include these people. You don't need to go anywhere. On our platform, you can open a bank account, you can do transfer, you can do receivers, and you can even buy FX, or you can, do investment. So we are looking at financial inclusion from both the digital space and the offline space, if you like. One of the other strong building block for financial inclusion is partnership, right? Partnership. CBN has to partner with the 22 commercial banks in Nigeria to be able to reach 40 million Nigerians, right? That number comes from about 40.4 or 5 right now, or let's say 50 million Nigeria rather, right? Who have BVN, right? CBN had to partner with commercial banks and microfinance bank to be able to reach 50 million Nigerians with banking services. Now, to take it further, remember 50 million is a fraction of 200 million populace, right? So to give the other 150 million, or let's say 50 million Nigerians adult population, CBN is partnering with private individuals, agency network, or startup fintechs, to be able to reach the rural areas. And there are some fintech players that are, doing it on their own without partnership